Good. Welcome back to another episode of Grind Culture Podcast.
What up, everybody? I am Colton.
And today, though I think we kind of had a harder approach coming into this episode. You know the topic, I know the topic, and I'll kind of explain what our topic is for today's episode in a little bit. But I kind of wanted to ease it down. And there's variables to why I kind of wanted to ease it down. One is, though I'm not gonna provide the name of where I started to work at as a second job to get a little bit more money. I'm not gonna provide the name. We mentioned it in this podcast before.
Starbucks.
Starbucks. No, I would never call it Starbucks. That's disrespectful.
No, I'm saying you work at Starbucks.
No. Even then I can't say it. But I do have a better understanding of how a coffee shop operates. Though I still see some of the things that like I figured would happen, but this coffee shop in particular that I'm at does it the best. You agree, and I agree. They do it very well, and they do it the best in our area. That being said, today's episode we were gonna go hard on coffee shops, specifically the ones that we were kind of disappointed with here recently around our area, and some not in our area. And I think it's a little bit more gray than that. There's not really black and white to this conversation. I think there's a lot of gray area to why coffee shops may be depleting a little bit. Because there was a time where we were going to coffee shops and they just all seemed like they were working at such a high level.
Right.
But recently, and my wife and I just talked about this yesterday, it seems like some of the coffee shops that we have been going to, not the one I work at, but some of the other ones have been going down a little bit. That's what I kind of wanted to discuss. I do have a peek behind the curtains now as far as me working at a coffee shop, but I think that's going to help me kind of have a little bit of an understanding as to why we're seeing, at least us in our experiences, and some of our coworkers have been seeing like a downward shift in quality or service in some local coffee shops.
Yeah.
So I think we could start on our experiences here. Yeah. So there's a few local coffee shops, one in particular. Do we want to give names? Do we want to?
Heck yeah.
Okay, so
let's give names.
So the Press is one of them that I've been going to since I've been here.
Me too.
Coming from Carlsbad, that's where I got like my love for local coffee shops. And coming over here, I was kind of trying to look for something similar as soon as I got here, and the Press just happened to be the one that everybody was always recommending to me. Yeah. And at first it was good. Lindsay and I like to go there, but recently I've usually get their lavender honey latte or just their flash brew or just a pour over. And all three of those, I ordered those sequentially the last 3 times I was there, and they all have been terrible. Garbage. And I could factor it into 3 things, coincidentally enough. 1 is turnover. 2 is quality of coffee. 3 is this kind of goes with turnover, is lack of training or lack of consistency in how it operates. Right. Would you agree with any of what I just said?
Yes. I've been going there probably just as long as you. So we probably started going around the same time. I was probably actually a little bit before you, because I remember I was telling you like, hey, go there, get this, try this out. And you're like, oh, sweet. All right, cool. Yeah. And yeah, it used to be really good. Still speaking on the Press, and used to be like the only good coffee shop in the valley. Yeah. Like when it came to specialty coffee and getting like the type of coffee that we like and search for, that was the only place to go. But over the years, I'd say it was pretty good. Like they were good before I got there. They were good for the next few years. Even through COVID, they were good. And then it seems within maybe like I'd like to say the last 2 years, it started going like I would go and it was like I would go and it was like a 90% chance that I was going to get a really good cup of coffee. And I usually get a flash brew. So that really tells like the quality of coffee and how well they're following a recipe. Because a flash brew is a flash brew and it should have a good taste. It's not like, oh, it was just the coffee or whatever. There's not many variables where you can butcher it. It's not like you steamed the milk wrong or you didn't add enough syrup. You know, it's just black coffee. So you can really tell like quality by just going by based off of black coffee, right? So over the past 2 years, it was like, okay, went from like 90%, I could almost guarantee I was going to get a good cup of coffee. And then it went down like 50-50 chance, you know, it just depended on like if it was a new face or not. And I get it. Like if it's a new barista, sure. But like that goes back on like, you did not train them well enough. You just threw them in there. And now it's like you go in there, it's new people all the time.
Yeah.
So there's something missing there. It's a lack of maybe leadership, or they just lost the, you know, standards that they had. You know, because who knows the reason? We don't know. We don't work there. So it's hard to tell. And we're not trying to bash it, but, you know, from the consumer, we can bash it because this is our experience, right? So now I don't go.
Yeah.
You know, it was too many times where my order got butchered. And you know, when I order my drink and I'm like, and I know a lot of people don't order flash brew, but even when like the barista has to look up the recipe, and because it's like the first time they've made it, and then they have to ask for help, like, have you ever made one of these before? And they don't really know what to do, and I can hear them talking about it.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, there's something missing. So yeah, lack of. I don't know if I agree with lack of like the quality of coffee, just because I know you can still go in and buy a good bag of coffee and then take it home and it's going to be a good cup. So I guess their roasting is still good. But who knows? I'm maybe they could have switched the type of coffee that they're buying because of coffee prices. But who knows? I'm not going to say that right now. But I mean, but they do a good job. Like, and they have it all there, and they kind of set the standard for the Valley. So I just hope. I mean, who knows if they'll hear this?
I don't know.
Or if enough people are just saying it publicly on Yelp reviews or wherever that may be. But hopefully they kind of get the gist of, oh, crap, we need to pull it back. We need to focus on our staff. We need to go back to originally what we created our shop to be. Because I see that so much with shops expanding. They start off so awesome, and they expand to 2, they expand to 3, they keep it, and then they slowly start to lose it. And then all of a sudden it becomes a money thing, and then you can't really control it. You know, so I can't really think of a coffee shop that is older than 10 years that has kept quality or has just stayed a few shops. You know what I mean? So it's hard. Yeah. So there's a lot of variables. And I know, people we know, they're just not happy about it.
Well, going back to what you said, we don't know if they'll hear this. And I think the purpose of this podcast or this episode in particular is it's not for them to hear this so they can fix their problems. I think it's kind of just sharing our experiences with our frustration on local coffee shops. And maybe somebody is going through something similar and us trying to shed a light as to why it's happening, or maybe give insight of, hey, you're not the only one and this is possibly why, or just maybe stop going to this coffee shop and they'll take a hint. Yeah. Which is kind of where I'm at right now. If people stop going, maybe they'll start I don't look at Yelp reviews. I don't look at anything like that. I'm sure coffee shops owners do. Yeah.
I hope they do.
Me too. And I hope people shared their honest opinions about it. And I'm pretty sure people do, because I don't think people are scared to kind of express themselves through either a phone or a computer. But right. This is just our experiences with our local coffee shop and our frustrations, and we're here to share it with you, because this is why we started a podcast, is to share our lives, not only about coffee and education on coffee and the market, but just our lives in general. And we thought this topic would be interesting. Yeah. That being said, I understand. I could see why you don't think the quality of coffee is the problem.
Mm.
And I personally don't think either, but I can see it happening just because of coffee prices. I was just trying to relate coffee prices to see if people are not buying as good quality coffee anymore because they're trying to go cheaper. So that was just a maybe. That's why.
Yeah, it could be.
But I think this is the problem that we're having. I work at Abode with Cameron. And
shout out
big time, because Cameron, now I do see kind of what he does and how it operates, and Zedai too. And Zedai is the owner, and Cameron's manager, or he has a new role. I forget. Sorry, I'm butchering it, Cam. But I see the work that they put into not only the day-to-day operation of a coffee shop, but the quality of coffee that they provide. And I'll give an example, because again, this is just my experiences, and it's something that I notice that I don't notice in other coffee shops. Cameron's on bar one night when I'm working there, or one day when I'm working there. And he's frustrated, and he's frustrated because the shots aren't pulling accurately. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, if you care about the craft of coffee, yes, you're going to get frustrated that your shots aren't pulling correctly, because it'd be easy just to ignore that and just provide coffee to your customers.
Yeah.
Because you have a rush, you have a line, and you want to get the orders in and you want to get the orders out, and you just want to keep that line moving. Cameron wasn't like that. He was visibly frustrated, and he wanted to get it fixed. And I think that was a tell, just like that little specific thing alone, that told me they care about the quality of their product, not only how many customers they're getting in.
Right.
I just don't see that at the press, because I don't see somebody like Cameron or some of the other people on bar that I've gotten to know while I work there, who are also very diligent at making coffee for their customers. I just don't see that at other coffee shops.
Yeah, it's hard to find somebody that's a coffee fanatic, a coffee geek, like a coffee, let's just say a nerd, and someone that's really into coffee and the craft and everything, and they're bringing their best to the shop, so it's like, it's very rare. And I know, like, if you have a lot of shops and your turnover on employees is just crazy, I know it's hard to find those people. But still, I mean, you're a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Your coffee should be dialed and good. I get it if it's like you get busy. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm a shop owner or anything. I bet right now it's so stressful. So I'm not bashing owners. This is no hate or anything. But it's like, where's the line, Like it's... If I owned a restaurant and I served food, I'd want my quality to stay the same. I mean, coffee is in the same field. You're serving something to people. It should stay there. Yeah. Especially, and this will be a whole nother episode, and I don't want to dive into this right now. And we say this all the time, but like, coffee and everything else is getting way too expensive for quality to be crap. And me and you were just talking the other day, like, I'll just stay home. Like, really. Yeah. Like, even, I mean, I'll just say it. I can make a better cup of coffee than anybody, anywhere I can go. I mean, sure, I can travel and experience new things, but when it comes to, like, the thing I want, or just a cup of coffee, I'm going to dial it in for myself. I'm going to make a good drink. I can experiment. I can make a perfect cup of coffee, I'd like to say. But it's like, if it does get to that point, I'll stay home. I'll make coffee. Yeah. I'll buy bags of coffee and make my own. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna give places 3, 4, 5 chances and be a couple $100 out my pocket and just keep trying and trying and trying. Maybe back then when coffee was like $5 or $4, for a cup, it's like, sure, there's a little bit more. But now it's like, if you're getting over $10 a drink, which kind of we're there, and it sucks big time. Hopefully people are still under that, in between 5 and 10, but it's just not something, I mean, me personally, I'm not going to mess around with. I'm just not. I'm not going to play the game of things are just expensive, you know, and we just got to raise our prices. It's like, no.
Yeah.
If you're raising your prices, show us why.
Mm-hmm.
Like your quality actually better get better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to raise your prices, show us that you care
Mm-hmm.
and that you're fighting for it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that, no excuse. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, as a shop owner, you really got to put that on your shoulders and suck it up.
Yeah.
It sounds harsh, but I mean, maybe if you don't have the means, or maybe you're just not passionate about it, sure, you're going to die. You're going to burn out. You're going to feel burnt out. Your people under you are going to feel burnt out. I get it, but you got to put systems in places. You got to find ways around that. And yes, inflation is real. Yes, the stresses of life are real, but like, set yourself up for success. Have people around you. Have the right team around you, you know. And if you're a store with 3, 4, 5 plus, you know, locations, then you got to have help. And you got to have people that are on the same wavelength with you and have the same, you know, morals as you. So yeah, I get a little heated talking about it just because it's like, I mean, we love coffee so much. We're in the coffee industry, and like, just to see this happening, it's like, how far can we let it go to where we just stop supporting people? Mm-hmm. It sucks. Like, I don't want to stop supporting like local people. I want to be like a part of the community, and especially coffee shops. That's like the base camp of people gathering, and like,
yeah,
you know, it's like
it definitely is. I've learned that since starting at Woes. It's just like people are in there all the time, regulars in there all the time. I've ran into people that I see at the gym. Mm-hmm. There's this guy, I forget his name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people come in. I wish I remembered his name, but I was like, hey, don't you go to my gym? I was giving him his coffee. He's like, yeah, I think I see you in the mornings. It's just like, it's like very communal, and like people are talking to one another, or they're talking to Cameron, or talking to Zedai, or other people at the bar. Family members and significant others come in.
Yeah.
All the time. And people, when they're not even working, they're not on shift, people will come in and like visit, and just it's like very communal there. And it's like that. It should be like that in other coffee shops.
Yeah. And like, let's just talk about Abode real quick. Mm-hmm. And the reason why, and you know, we'll move on from them and go talk about other shops real quick. But Abode is new, right? So they haven't been around for years. They've got a good team. Mm-hmm. They've got one location, coming out with a second. Like, they're able to focus on it and dial it in. So, you know, in 5, 10, the history of Abode, hopefully they keep that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, I mean, a challenge to them, you know? So it's like, hopefully they take everything that they have learned mm-hmm. and they keep growing.
Right.
And don't stay stagnant. Because that's where you start just like, it's so you can die out so fast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let me mention one coffee shop real quick. This one's not a local coffee shop, but I went to Kumquat.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know about this.
In LA.
Yeah.
On Saturday, mm-hmm. and I was stoked. Like, this was like a 2-day plan thing, you know, before Easter, and we met some family there, and I was like, talked it up a little bit. I'm like, hey, this is like my top 5 like coffee shops. Like, let's go to Kumquat before we go hang out with family. So we made it a whole thing, right? So we go, and we got 4 of us got 4 drinks. So, 4 of us got each a drink. So 4 out of 4 of those drinks were not good, and they did not live up to this, like, the standard of what I thought it was. Mm-hmm. You know, when I first went, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the best coffee I've got. And then we got it, and it was like watered down and not dialed in, and I was like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
And like, the only reason I'm saying this, and I'll give them another shot, because I mean, that was my second time there. And who knows, like, when I'll be back there. So it's going to be rare. If I'm in that spot again, I'll go and I'll support them. But if they're bad, I won't go back. Like, that was a whole trip planned, you know? Like, that was, and yeah, the baristas aren't thinking about it. They're not like, oh, these people, you know, made this whole plan. And, like, they don't know my life. They don't know who I am. But the fact that they're not dialed in every drink is showing, like, okay, you might have just lost, you know, 4 customers. Mm-hmm. You know, like, that coffee shop is 2 hours away from my house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, I think anybody, any coffee shop, any barista should know that, like have it in the back of their head. And I know it can fade pretty quick, but like, even if it's like team meetings every week or every day, or like, hey, these are the standards, these are the values. You could have somebody taking a 2-hour trip, or they could be on like they could be from the East Coast or a different part of the world. And they could have like looked up our shop and they could have walked in. That experience should be good for them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like their drink should be dialed in. That should be a drink that they remember, or just a freaking good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that hard to keep it dialed in.
No, and that's what worries me about any coffee shop. Yeah, it sucks that you went to Kumquat, and because I've always heard you praise it pretty high, and the fact that you had to go there 2 hours away and get a bad experience sucks. So it sucks for anybody. I kind of have a similar experience, and I think, again, just going back to like who's there to establish criteria, or somebody there to establish like a not reputation, but a certain level of quality that must be abided by every employee.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Little Goat, which just opened a little bit ago.
Little Pig,
which I accidentally called it yesterday. Little Goat. Again, that's just a testament of how like forgetful I was about it, and like how much of non-impression it gave me. Mm-hmm. Little Goat has my favorite coffee shop's coffee there, right. Steady State. And you told me whenever it was pre-opening, and I was so ecstatic, like wanted to go there the first day it opened just because I love Steady State so much. And I heard by the owner that Elliot, the owner of Steady State, went and trained the baristas there.
Yeah.
That being said, because Elliot's not there all the time and he did the training, is there somebody there responsible to make sure that Elliot's coffee that's being served at Little Goat is up to the standards of Elliot 24/7? I don't think so, because coffee was very generic to me. Yeah. I mean, not like how when I go to Steady State, I didn't have that same experience at Little Goat. Granted, Little Goat is a very different shop than Steady State. So the disservice of, I guess in my own head, of Steady State's coffee being served at a place that doesn't uphold the standards that Steady State has, is that killing the coffee experience as well? Because it seems like Little Goat just added this coffee shop just to say they have a little coffee shop. Because it's like a pastry.
Yeah, they're probably so new at coffee.
It's a pastry and like tapas or little good, like eatable goods first and foremost, because that's what's there prominently when you walk in, and then like the little cafe areas in the back corner that you order up in the front. That also disappointed me, because I feel like I don't want to say that Elliot like sold out or anything. I think he was just trying to help people that he knew, or people that he's a business, so he has to sell his coffee. But when your name is up on the shelves, and that your name is being misrepresented to your own standards, I think then that's a disservice to the brand, which is Steady State. Yes. Which was extremely disappointing to me. Which is also why I kind of wanted to have this episode in particular, is just because that's my biggest frustration with what we're talking about now, is something that was so dear to me, because coffee's like basically my world now. Right. And many different factors. It sucks that the thing that got me into it is being, maybe tarnished is too harsh of a word, but negatively impacting my way of viewing them. I hate that that's happening in my head.
Well, because me and you see a Steady State bag or anything, and that's like, it's like sunshine, bro. That's like, heck yeah. Like, I sent you the picture because I was so stoked. I was like, dude, Steady State is in Temecula.
That was
like,
so cool.
So awesome. And that's like why you win, you know? You're like,
yeah, that's exactly why I went.
Yeah, so like there has to be maybe a retraining or like a checking in, you know, like on your product, making sure that your product's being served the way, because the way me and you think about steady state is like vacation, like top 5, top 3, like coffee shops, number 1 for you probably, you know. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard, but you know, we being on this side of things, we do know that there's our product and there's also wholesale product. So it's like, you got to think wholesale is usually cheaper, it's not as specialty. Usually when you have wholesale accounts, it's more generic, so it's less graded coffee, but it's still good. But I just think, there's a level, you know, don't go below what you're kind of known for. Which I don't think they are. I think they're probably, because I think the name on the bags were the blends, some of the blends that they use, and we know that they're good. So yeah, we got to make sure that, you know, not even just Steady State, but whoever is putting their name out there, that you're living up to your name, those standards.
It's a dangerous game to play.
It is,
like, because you have a brand, you have a company, and you want it represented. It's hard to really let that go and give it to somebody else. I mean, how do you experience, like, do you ever think about that? You as a coffee supplier, mountains to waves to cafes, do you ever think about that? Like,
all the time. I think cafes are most important because that's selling point for more customers. So it's like, okay, if I'm putting my name out there, and just like we're talking about, and people see my bag and their experience with the coffee shop is really good, and like, oh my gosh, this coffee is bomb, what is it? They're gonna go to my website and they're gonna become a customer. It's like marketing, right? Wholesale is marketing, you know, so that's how you should treat it. If anything, it should be better. Not better, but like, you should match it, you know, because it's a huge thing. And I've seen it. Like, I've seen people locally buy my coffee because their experience at a coffee shop. I've seen it. Not a lot, but, you know, a handful of times. And they're customers that come back. So there's that. And I was going to say something. What was I going to say? Never mind.
Okay.
I'll come back to it. I will figure it out.
Yeah, I figured, like, since your name, because I remember you have a plaque, proudly serving Mountain to Waves coffee, and you have your bags up there. I would ever wonder if, like, you're worried about, like, the representation that people are serving your coffee and how they're doing it.
No, and that can lead us to the next coffee shop that we can talk about locally, and that is Joyful Noise in Menifee. And that's everything I just said. That's the shop that's serving my coffee. They have it dialed, you know. I haven't heard anything bad. I haven't gone and, like, got myself a cup of coffee and it's been, you know, poorly, you know, poured or not dialed in. It's like, you have a really cool couple running a shop. They have their values, they have their standards, and they serve good coffee. And not only that, but they're just awesome people that care about their product. So it's like, that's another really cool, good coffee shop in our area that's, you know, doing things right. You know, and they're small enough to where they can really focus on it. And they have awesome reviews. Like, it seems like everybody that goes there loves them. I wouldn't say that they're, like, pushing, like, new age coffees so much, as in, like, they're not pushing, like, experimental, like, crazy processes coffees, like fifth wave almost coffee, kind of like a boat is. But they're just very good, like, quality shop. And you can guarantee that you can go there and get a good cup of coffee. So that's awesome. Shout out to Matt and Allie. They're running a good shop. But yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like, if you put your brand out there, you pretty much putting your brand onto those people. Like, hey, serve my coffee well. Like, please serve my coffee well. And they do. So, like, that's awesome. And that's anybody. That's all my other accounts too. Like, I want them to show it off. If I have crappy coffee, I don't want to show it off.
No, it's true, and it's
fair. Embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. One other thing that we kind of touched on is, like, the experience of going to a coffee shop. Now, that was the other thing I was thinking of why the coffee shop experience might be dwindling, and that's just the total experience of a coffee shop. Now, I'm not saying the press is a victim of this or they're intentionally doing this, but to bag on the press again, They do have multiple locations, and I went to 2 of them. The last 3 times I was disappointed in grabbing their coffee. One of them they have in Old Town.
Mm-hmm.
Old Town, for people that don't know or don't live here, is like a very touristy spot for visitors.
Old Town Temecula or Old Town Marietta?
Temecula.
Cool, because they have one in both.
Yeah, Old Town Temecula. Very touristy spot.
Mm-hmm.
People from out of state, out of city, out of country go
there. A lot
there,
of people.
You know, because I ran into those. I ran into the different people from just like all over the place. And that makes the local coffee shop experience and that particular location not make it feel like a local coffee shop. It just makes it feel like a coffee shop, not similar to Starbucks, because I still want to give them credit of saying that they do provide better coffee than Starbucks.
Yeah.
But it felt that way, where like, again, that could deteriorate the quality of coffee that's being provided, because you're getting a lot of traffic in, so you're just trying to get coffee out, and so that might dwindle the fact that, okay, this coffee needs to be consistent and good every single time, because you might not see these people again because they're out of state, they're just tourists.
Yeah.
So that's that could be why I think I had maybe a bad experience there as well on one of the 3 times I went there last, is just that it didn't feel like a local coffee shop. It just felt like another like touristy place to go get coffee at for not only locals but for people out of state, which again is a business, so it's fair, it's fine that they do that. But
right,
that then relates to my experiences over at the other shop, which is off Yanez by the shopping center.
Yeah, by Trader Joe's. Yeah.
No, not by Trader Joe's, by Target.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
So going there, those are the other 2 times that I've got not the best coffee or not the best experience. And again, to be fair to the press, sitting there in that area or in their shop is nice. They have a good like ambiance there.
Right.
But there's also now a Starbucks right next to them. And again, that's not their fault. But I feel maybe that now they're trying to compete maybe with Starbucks in a way where they didn't have to do that before.
Right.
And again, this could be like something just I'm pulling out of my ass or something, but this is just how I was feeling, is that people that are maybe like have been working at the busy press off in Old Town Temecula have been working over on the one off Yanez where the new Starbucks is, and maybe that's just like how they handle customers on any given day, is just like, okay, we got to get this out, don't care about quality, don't care about measuring or anything, just make sure the coffee's given to them. So I was giving them the benefit of doubt of that maybe, but it is what it is. I just had bad experiences there last 3 times, and the ambiance is a very important factor to going to a local coffee shop, and I feel like that is not being upheld like some other coffee shops are, because you're right, it is communal. It's like a watering hole for people that drink coffee. So I feel like it still should feel like that if you're trying to represent yourself as a local coffee shop.
If you don't have the locals on board, you're done. You're done for.
Exactly.
You know, because they're going to be the ones that talk. They're going to be, you know, they're going to be the ones showing the outsiders, hey, go here. Like, this is what we all like. You know?
Exactly.
Like, everybody looks at reviews. Everybody looks at the 5 stars. Everybody looks at that. You know, it's like you should be pushing for that. And, I mean, I'm sorry, but locals are way more important than outside visitors. Outside visitors are awesome, and you want them visiting your shop, but it's like, you got to keep the locals happy, you know. And I mean, like you're saying, not only should the quality be good, but the shop should be a good experience every time. The barista should be smiling, you know. The cashier should be friendly. It's like, oh, what do you want? Like, shouldn't like, what do you want? Okay, yeah, whatever. And then turn the freaking screen around for you to tip them. It's like, really? It's like 20% tip. It's like $10 more. You're like, screw you, dude.
It's gotten out of hand for sure.
And I'm not saying that actually, like, because the press, maybe I've met a few rude people just because they seem like they're stressed out
Mm-hmm.
and new.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like the people that I've seen there that have been working there for a while have been great.
Yeah.
Like they've been really friendly and
Yeah.
and like so that's exactly why I liked going there originally, because like you felt that,
Mm-hmm.
but it is gone.
Yeah.
Like you do not feel that sense of like of home base anymore, of good coffee shop to go to. So I don't know, man.
This was a hard episode to do. I mean, even though we kind of like had a lot to say,
Yeah.
it's hard because like if there is a chance that any of these coffee shops do stumble upon our like this episode and say like, hey, what the hell, like you guys are talking about me. It's just our experiences, and I think we could treat this as you can treat this. I mean, you could do whatever the heck you want, but you could treat it as constructive criticism. We're just two local guys trying to find good coffee at a good coffee shop, and this is just the experiences that we have. We're not trying to attack you. We're not trying to attack anybody, but we're just trying to have an understanding of maybe why we had bad experiences at places that we've had good experiences at.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that we kept going back because we did have good experiences at one point. It just happened that recently, not only with the press or Kumquat, but other places, we've been not having good experiences.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I think we could talk about each local coffee shop for a while. So maybe it'd be cool to kind of like just do a quick like shotgun of like local shops we might know and what we might know about them.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
Do you have any in mind that you think that are on the radar of? And let's just talk about specialty coffee shops.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot here,
Uh-huh.
so I would think, I mean, do you have any before I go?
You go first, and then I'll get an idea of what I have in my head.
Okay. So we have Montague Brothers, which is actually close to you guys at Abode. I think they're legit. Super friendly people. I wouldn't say their coffee is as specialty as like Abode or even the press. I'd say they're more generic, but they do it well.
Yeah.
And they really care about their product, and they also really care about the community. And I'd say they're actually at the top of the list if you go in and your experience is good, because people are so dang friendly there. So
Yeah.
shout out to them. I think they're doing it great. And then Hush. I have not been to Hush yet. There was a lot of hype around them for a while, but we have heard from a few people that have been there that they're pretty like dark roast, generic sweet drinks, more specialty on food than really pushing new wave of coffee.
Yeah.
That's all I've heard. So I'm not going to butcher them in any way. I don't know anything about them.
Okay.
And then I think that's it. We don't have a lot.
Yeah.
We do not have a lot here.
I mean, Abode, obviously, we mentioned.
Yep.
Try Little Goat if you want. Good food from when I had it. Again, coffee was mediocre, but I just don't think they were built for it. They were built for like the coffee shop experience, maybe the food experience, and they're very small. It's a very small area, so do with that information what you will.
Yeah. I guess we have Better Buzz. They made their way into town all over the place, but they're just they used to be a good this is a really good example of a good coffee shop that used to be local, like on the coast. I used to go like get a good experience, good cup of coffee. They're pushing it right. They had really good coffee, and they've just blown up totally like commercial. Just now they're just nasty.
Yeah,
like I do not like. I mean, their stuff is okay, but that's like if I have a Better Buzz next to Starbucks, I'll go to the Better Buzz.
Oh yeah,
that's the type. Those are my only options.
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't even go there anymore. So
God, I hope that never happens to you. Those two choices.
I'll just get some food at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, you mentioned I don't really like go out and look for coffee shops or like travel out of like the stuff that I know. But there was one on my way to Abode. It was like in a teardrop, like a silver teardrop trailer.
Oh, Rezo Coffee. Yeah, they out of trailer. I've never had them.
Me neither, but I saw them and they were people were in line to have them. So maybe try them, see how they are.
Yep. And then Rival Coffee. Their food's good, but I hate their coffee. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think their coffee's trash.
constructive
I've never had a
criticism.
good coffee there.
Constructive criticism, y'all. I promise. That's all we're doing.
Yes.
But essentially, I mean, that's our experience. And again, I don't want to take away business from anybody, but we have a due diligence of sharing our experiences with our audience, whoever is willing to listen to us.
Yeah.
And if you're going through something, and we talked about maybe the possibility of why people are going, or your coffee shop's going through it, maybe reach out to them if you know them, or share your own thoughts, and maybe they'll hear it, and maybe they'll take advantage of what they're hearing, you know, hopefully.
And reach out to us.
And reach out to us.
You now hate us, but
Yes.
we'd like to hear what you have to say.
Please don't hate us.
No.
But if you do, I understand.
I would love a conversation.
Yeah. But that's today's episode. Thank you for liking, subscribing, watching.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Peace.